Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope everyone is fine and safe. Welcome to your YouTube channel, Revision Learning. So today we are going to learn your chapter number 6 from your science book, Combustion and Flame. So without wasting any time, let's go directly to our class.
Hello students, good evening. Myself Joyshankar, class 8 science teacher. Today on 21st August 2020, Friday, I am going to discuss chapter 6, Combustion and Flame, from your science main book. Student, in my last few videos I have explained chapter 5, coal and petroleum, and now today I will start chapter 6, combustion and flame. The first part is introduction. Now let's have a look the introduction part of chapter 6. Students, you maybe know that in village area people generally use wood or cow dung cakes or crop residues to make foods. In town areas people use kerosene oil or coke to cook food. In cities people use LPG gases for making foods, and also the peoples of the cities are used petrols for running the light vehicles such as scooters, cars, etc. For running the heavy vehicles use diesel oil. In factories we use coal or fuel oil or natural gases. Actually, in one word, students, if we conclude that for making food or for lighting up the fire, some particular ingredients are required, and these are the ingredients like wood, then cow dung cakes, crop residues, then petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. Student, the materials such as wood, cow dung cakes, crop residues, then kerosene oil, coke, LPG petrol, diesel, and natural gases have some common properties. That is, they produce heat on burning. It is this heat energy which is put to different uses. Now, the materials which produce heat energy on burning in air are called fuels. Next part is, what is combustion? The materials which burn are commonly called combustible materials. The air or oxygen which helps in burning is called supporter of combustion, and the chemical reactions which takes place with the release of heat and light energy is called the combustion. Now next part is definition. Combustion, the chemical process in which a substance burns in air or oxygen with the release of heat and light energy is called the combustion. This is the definition of the combustion. Now next part is combustible material. A material which on heating in air or oxygen easily catches fire and release heat and light energy is called the combustible material. Now students, let's discuss the activity 6.2. As you can see in this picture, there is 3 candles. One is outside the glass, which means it is in the open air, and this is under the glass, but here this side is open, and here this candle is inside the glass, but this side is closed. Now students, as you can see, the first and second candles are burning with the shootish flame. Shootish flame means burning with clear flame, and this candle is not burning. This indicates that for burning air required, which means oxygen required. When this side of the glass being closed with some materials or some metal or some solid things, the supply of the oxygen or the air to the flame is being cut off. That's why the candle put off. But in this case, this is not happening. It's because particularly these two candles continuously getting the oxygen or air. This indicates that the air is necessary for the burning. Student, you maybe know that in our atmosphere 21% oxygen and 78% nitrogen and 1% is the mixing of the noble gases and some other gases. In pure oxygen, the substance will burn 5 times faster than in air. Next one is supporter of combustion. Supporter of combustion defined as it helps in the combustion of a combustible material. Some examples which prove that supporter of combustion is necessary for the combustion of a material. Let's have a look these two examples. When sand is poured down over the fire, then the fire goes off, which means the air which supports the combustion is cut off. And next part is, if a person catch fire and if immediately he or she being wrapped in a thick blanket, then the blanket cut off the supply of the air and the fire put off. Now students, let's have a look this activity. There is two paper cup. One is half filled with water and one is empty. And put these two paper cup over a spirit lamp. Now look student, the empty paper cup will catch fire after a few seconds, but the paper cup containing water will not catch fire as because there is a water. Now this indicates that some minimum temperature is essential for combustible substance before it catch fire. This minimum temperature is called the ignition temperature. Now the definition is given in the book. The minimum temperature to which a combustible substance must be heated before it catch fire is called the ignition temperature or kindling temperature. Here is the example given here. Ignition temperature of phosphorus is 35 degrees C, which indicate that unless the phosphorus is heated to 35 degrees C, it will not catch fire. Now student, our next part is examples to prove that excess supply of supporter of combustion leads to complete combustion. Now let's have a look of that. Kerosene oil in air burns with yellow flame, but kerosene oil in the stove burns with the blue flame because it can suck large amount of air at high pressure. Some more examples are also there students, you have to read this. Now let's have a look of number B. A special iron grate is fixed in the angethi in which coal or soft coke or charcoal or small pieces of wood are burned. The gap in the iron grate allows the air to freely move through the burning combustible material and hence sustain combustion. Student, example to prove that the ignition temperature is necessary for combustion. A few points are also being discussed here students. You have to read all these points carefully. Students, sometimes it has been seen that forest catch fire. Now how this type of incident happens, I am now explaining to you. In summer season, the temperature remains high all the time. In summer season, forest, grass or the leaves are extremely dry, and at that time a teeny spark or a lightning can cause a violent fire into the forest. Sometimes it has been seen that a small piece of cigarette, if it's burning and if anybody throws into the grass, dry grass, it can catch fire. This is the reason student actually for catching fire into the forest automatically. Now next part is conditions necessary for combustion. There are three conditions. First one, there must be a combustible substance. Number two, there must be a continuous supply of oxygen or air. Number three, the temperature of combustible material should be above its ignition temperature. Now student, Next part is types of combustion. There are 4 types of combustion. First one slow combustion, second one rapid combustion, third one spontaneous combustion, and fourth one explosive combustion. Now let's discuss one by one. Slow combustion. When a combustible material burns at a slow or moderate rate, it is called slow combustion. During slow combustion, there is not sufficient supply of air, thus combustion is never complete and create smokes or harmful gases. For example, cow dung cake, wood, kerosene oil, etc. are the examples of the slow combustion. Next one, rapid combustion. When a combustible material burns rapidly to produce heat and light, it is called the rapid combustion. For example, LPG and CNG gas. When burned, it in special stoves exhibits rapid combustion. Similarly, kerosene oil pressure stoves and kerosene oil wick stoves exhibit rapid combustion. During rapid combustion, there is a sufficient supply of air and hence the combustion is complete. Next part, spontaneous combustion. When a combustible material suddenly bursts into flames without the application of apparent cause, spontaneous combustion takes place. For example, when a small piece of phosphorus or sodium is kept in air, or sometimes it suddenly burns into flames. It suddenly bursts into flames. It is because these materials initially form that oxides and produce heat energy. When their temperature rises above the ignition temperature, they suddenly burst into flame. Next part, explosive combustion. When a mixture of combustible material and air, means oxygen, completely burns in very short span of time is in some closed space, explosive combustion takes place, which means when a mixture of combustible materials and air completely burns in a very short period of time in a very closed space, then explosive combustion takes place. During explosive combustion, generally there is internal supply of oxygen or air. For example, when the fuse of firecracker is ignited, it decomposes potassium chloride to form oxygen and rises the temperature of the sulfur to its ignition temperature. Thus, the mixture of the sulfur and carbon suddenly burns to produce a large amount of gas and produces sound, light, and heat energy. Now, next part is firefighting. Students, already you have learned that combustion takes place only if there is a combustible material, continuous supply of air, and temperature of combustible material is higher than the ignition temperature. Now let's have a discuss some points given here. First one, taking care of combustible materials. Now look, places like petrol stations or petrol pump have highly combustible materials such as petrol, diesels, etc., and no one should be allowed to enter into the petrol pump with the matchsticks, with burning cigarette in hands. Same type of precautions apply at the LPG gas godowns also, firecracker shops also. Students, in our homes also, curtains, carpets, wooden furnitures, etc. are also made of combustible materials. Cloths of artificial fibers such as trilene, nylon, etc. are highly combustible substance, and we should be very much conscious, or we should be very much careful that no one should go besides the sides of the carpets, wooden furnitures, etc., or the nylon cloths with the candle, burning candles or burning lamps, etc. This type of precautions should be taken inside the home also, so that not to catch fire. Next topic is taking care of continuous supply of air and ignition temperature. Students, once a fire has started, it can be extinguished only either by cutting the supply of air or lowering the temperature of the combustible materials below its ignition point. Now there is some examples are given here. Let's discuss one by one. Example number 1, if a person catch fire, the person should be immediately wrapped in a thick blanket so that the air cut off and the fire will die. If materials such as wood or wood based products catch fire, sand should be poured over them, or the sand will cut off the supply of air and the fire will die. Alternatively, we can pour down the water also. Number 3 example, if the fire is caused by oil or gas, it should be extinguished by using carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. The carbon dioxide cuts off the supply of air and the fire dies. However, carbon dioxide extinguishers are not readily available in most of the places. In that particular place, fire brigade should be called immediately. Example number 4, if the fire is caused by electric short circuit, do not try to extinguish it by pouring water or carbon dioxide foam, as because the electric current will flow through water here, thereby giving a severe electric shock which may prove fatal. In such cases, main switch should be off immediately and call the fire brigade. Now next part is fire extinguisher. Soda acid fire extinguisher. It consists of a metallic cylinder from the bottom of which rises a plunger which is sharp end. On the sharp end of the plunger is placed a sealed thin glass tube containing concentrated sulfuric acid. In case of fire, the plunger is hit against the floor. The sharp tip of the plunger breaks the glass of the test tube. The acid in the test tube reacts with the sodium bicarbonate to produce carbon dioxide gas. Now this is the reactions, as you can see, NaHCO3, which means sodium bicarbonate, or you can say that sodium hydrogen carbonate, H2SO4 sulfuric acid, Na2SO4 sodium sulfate, water and CO2. This is the diagram of the fire extinguisher, as you can see in the picture. When the pressure of the carbon dioxide exceeds a certain limit, the wax seal blows off and carbon dioxide gas comes out with high pressure and it put off the fire. Now student, let's discuss taking care of the victims of fire. If a person catch fire, he or she should be wrapped immediately with the blanket and cut off the supply of the air. This will put off the fire. Remove the victim to an open space so as to counter the effect of the smoke and carbon monoxide. Pour cold water over the victim's body. This will remove the heat from his body and prevent the formation of the boils. Send the victims to hospitals for further medical treatment. Next one, disadvantage of incomplete combustion. Number 1 point, during incomplete combustion, a part of the unburned carbon passes into the atmosphere in the form of soot. This not only wastes the fuel but also pollutes the atmosphere. During incomplete combustion, carbon monoxide gas is formed, which is highly poisonous in nature and cause respiratory problems. Sometimes it can causes death. Next part is flames. Now students, let's have a look. 6.6 flames. A region of burning gases is called a flame. When we light a candle with a matchstick, the heat of the burning matchsticks not only melts wax but also changes it into the wax vapor. The wax vapor mixes with the air and then catches fire to produce a flame. Now students, let's study the candle flames. As you can see in the picture, the lower part is called the blue zone and this is called the dark inner zone. This is called visible flame or visible zone, or you can say the yellow zone, and this part is invisible flame or invisible zone. Now let's discuss one by one all the zones. Blue zone, the lowermost part of the candle is called the blue zone. Blue zone, near the base of the flame, the fresh air rapidly mixes with the wax vapor formed from the molten wax. A part of the wax vapor almost completely burns and gives rise to blue flame, which is very much similar to the LPG gas burner. Next part, dark inner zone. This zone consists of unburned wax vapor given off by the molten wax. It is the coldest part of the flame. It is slightly dark because a part of wax vapor decomposes on heating to form carbon particles. Student, there is one activity. You will have to learn this activity or observe this activity carefully. Next part is luminous zone. In this zone, a particular combustion of wax vapor takes place with the liberation of a lot of heat energy. The heat energy so liberated partly decomposes the wax vapor into the carbon particles. The luminous zone of a candle flame is hotter than the dark inner zone. but not as hot as the non-luminous zone. Student, there is also given some activity 6.5 and 6.7. You have to go through all these activities carefully. Now let's talk about the non-luminous zone. Next part is non-luminous zone. It is a zone of the complete combustion of wax vapor and carbon particle. The air from the sides of the flame mixes with unburned wax vapor and carbon particles from the luminous zone and completely burns them to form carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. It is the hottest part of the flame, which is hardly visible. Next part, fuels and their types. Introduction. The prime requirements of a human being are food, clothing and shelter. None of these requirements can be available unless we have heat energy to cook our food and other kinds of energy to run machines for manufacturing articles of clothes and shelter. The fuel, already I discussed this definition before in this video. Next part, calorific value of the fuel. The amount of heat energy produced on completely burning 1 kilogram of a fuel in pure oxygen is called the calorific value of a fuel. The calorific value of the fuel is expressed in kilojoules per kilogram. Symbol is kJ per kg. Here is the charts given of the fuels along with the calorific value. Students, you have to observe this carefully. This is one more chart also being given here. You have to observe this carefully. Next part is, student, characteristics of the good fuel. First one, it should be cheap and readily available. Second one, it should be easy to store. Third one, it should be produced any hazard during transportation. Fourth one, it should have large calorific value. Fifth, it should produce a very small amount of residues such as ash. Next one, it should not produce gases which pollute the air. And seventh one is it should have low ignition temperature. And last one is it should burn at a slow rate and its combustion should be controllable. These are the characteristics of a good fuel. Next part, classification of fuels. On the basis of physical state of the fuel, first one is solid fuel. The fuels which occur in a solid state at room temperature are called a solid fuel. Example, wood, agricultural residue, charcoal, coke, paraffin wax, etc. Next one, liquid fuels. The fuels which occur in a liquid state at room temperature are called liquid fuels. For example, liquefied hydrogen, petrol, kerosene, oil, diesel oil, furnace oil, alcohol, etc. Next one, gaseous fuel. The fuels which occur in a gaseous state at room temperature are called gaseous fuel. For example, water gas, producer gas, coal gas, compressed natural gas, CNG, global gas, hydrogen gas, etc. Next part is which is the best fuel and why. Now students, let's discuss all this point one by one. Gaseous fuel can be supplied to the consumers with ease through pipelines or gas cylinders. Next one, gaseous fuels do not leave behind any ash or solid residues on combustion. Third one, gaseous fuels produce the least amount of harmful gases as compared to the solid and liquid fuels. For that reason, among the fuels, the gaseous state is one of the best so far as concerned. Some few points are also being there. The gaseous fuels can be easily ignited in special designed burners with a tiny spark. The gaseous fuels have a higher calorific values as compared to the liquid or the solid fuels. And last one is the rate of burning of gaseous fuels can be easily controlled with the help of control valve. Student, our last topic is problem created by the combustion of fuels. Some problems are created for the combustion of fuels. These are carbon dioxide gas, then carbon monoxide gas, next one nitrogen gas, sulfur dioxide gas, carbon particles and ash. These are the problems being created by the combustion of the fuels. Students, you have to read all the points carefully to understand the topic problems created by the combustion of the fuels. Here we are ending this chapter, and this is all about the chapter combustion and flame. I hope you understand, student. For more knowledge and information, read the chapters thoroughly. And also I being told you in this video that read the or observe the activities carefully. Thank you.